Hey, welcome to a really quick kind of intro look at the sequencer on the Typhon. Just doing a real quick introduction on how to program it with your keyboard. With version 1.1 you can input notes with your keyboard. You can transpose as well, and it's extremely cool, and we're not going to get that much in depth. I won't really describe doing rests or ties or anything like that. It's just kind of a kick in the ass to get things started. So I am drinking a Maibach, and I think this is the first dark Maibach I've ever had. So it is September, yes, but I had a couple left. And I'm drinking it in a flip-top Stein glass, whatever you want to call it, because Germanica, or what is it? No, it's Vespa Germanica, German wasps. They like beer too, and this is really convenient to keep them out of the beer if I need to. So anyway, on to the Dreadbox Typhon, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing this September 2020, hopefully you're staying virus free and things are going okay. Hoping for the best for everybody. Cheers. Hey, welcome to a fairly quick, for me anyway, tutorial on the Typhon sequencer. And this is working with firmware update 1.1, which means you can input notes from a keyboard, which is so much easier than trying to do it manually with all the knobs. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into understanding how the sequencer works. Press the sequencer button to enter the sequencer edit page. Use the first slider to set the sequencer step to 1. Press the shift button again to access parameters for setting the sequence length. Use the first slider to set the length, or the total number of steps, of the sequence. Press and hold the encoder for 2 seconds, and record should appear in the lower left corner of the screen. Play the notes that you want in the sequence. Hit the play button to hear the sequence you just created. Click the encoder to exit recording mode. So go ahead and hit the sequencer button. That will put you in sequencer mode. And you want to bring the steps right here down to 1, because you're going to be inputting notes from the keyboard. So now I've set this to step 1. Now, if I'm curious about the total number of steps I want to record, I can hit the shift button here, and you can see the total length right now is 8, and that's what I want actually. The total length of this sequence is going to be 8 notes. And notice this little shift button right here just switches between these 2 different lines of parameters for the sequence: step, octave, note, gate, velocity, and length, division, probability, and swing for the overall sequence. So I'm ready to go ahead and start recording. So at this point I press the encoder button for 2 seconds, and look, it says record now right there. So it's ready to go. Okay, I'm going to input 8 notes. And then, once you've inputted the notes, go ahead and click the encoder to exit recording mode. That disappeared. And let's go ahead and listen to it. So now, after you've inputted the 8 steps or notes or whatever that you want in a very easy fashion, playing them from the keyboard, you can go in and edit them if you want. So, and actually while it's playing, which is really cool. So we're going to edit step 3 and change the note. Right now it's a C in the 3rd octave. We're going to change it to, I don't know, a D. What the heck. And you can actually hear it while I'm doing it. Now I'm modifying step 4. Anyway, I think that's kind of the basics of this. Now the cool part is, so even though I have an 8-note sequence here, I can change the total length to 3, 5, 7, and just use the first 7 of those 8 notes. So here's a 7/8 sequence based on the first 7 of those 8 notes. Now let's make it a 5/8 sequence. What I'm basically doing is setting the loop length of the sequence to 5. So it's the first 5 notes of that 8-note sequence. So anyway, that's it. Kind of in a nutshell. There's more stuff to explore with this, but that's just a starting point. And hopefully for the curious folks out there, you can read through the manual and get some more tips and hints. Hey, I almost forgot the other cool feature you can do, the other thing you can do with the keyboard input. Not only can you input the notes with the keyboard, but you can also transpose the sequence with the keyboard. So let's turn on the sequencer. Let's set it to step 1. Let's hold this for 2 seconds to start the sequencer recording. Let's input some stuff. 8 notes. Turn off the recording. Turn off the sequencer. Hit play. So one of the interesting things about the sequencer is when you input a new key, it switches right on the very next note. It doesn't wait to cycle to the start of the sequence before changing transposing. It does it right there on the very next note. So you'll hear that. Watch this. So anyway, that's kind of it in summary. Anyway, if you have any questions, write them down in the comments below, and hopefully we'll be able to keep you moving forward on the Dreadbox Typhon. Cheers.